Hello there, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. You could probably hear me better now. Can y'all hear me? Hopefully, you can hear me. I'll wait for some people to come on in the room. Waiting for people to come on in the room. We're going to do a mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic, what? Okay. I guess my daughter decided to change her phone number for her birthday. How are y'all doing? I'm waiting. Listen, this solar eclipse is going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting. And I tell you why. Because this is, we've now moved into the territory where we got to have a talk, y'all. Can we have a talk? This has been a long time since I've like actually worn my natural hair on camera, so this is really quite interesting to me. That I've got some inches. I had not realized I had inches. Um, so we got to have a talk. Let's chat for a second because we've entered into fully into territory where I am beginning to feel that we have got to start discussing every lunation cycle in both Vedic astrology and both tropical astrology. And I'm gonna go through the whys in a second. But we're going into new territory. We're going into new territories, especially as far as this one. Hey, Ceresia. Okay, sweetheart, just go on and listen. You can come on and listen. What you got? I'm in the path of totality for the eclipse. Are you in New York City? Where are you? Are you upstate New York? Because I know they were saying New York City was going to be in the path. You're upstate. Okay, then you are in the path of totality. You most certainly are. Did you get the earthquakes as well? Um, be dark out, dark for 4 minutes. It's probably gonna be dark longer than that. Okay, anyway, let me not. Let me stop. Let me not. Let me not. Um, most all of us will be able to see it at some. I mean, it's gonna be over North America. It's got to be over North America. So there's a lot going on, but let's deal with the charts first. Because of something called the precession of the equinoxes. Do you all know what that is? What the precession of the equinoxes is? Good evening, Christina. Yeah. Oh, my friends in New York had a lot of shaking. So the precession of the equinoxes, what that is that every year for a while now, um, the Earth's wobble has changed. So where the equinox is, where it hits, changes every year. Um, and where the stars sit in the sky moves backwards a little bit every year. It hasn't really made a huge difference. You guys can look it up. If you take my classes, you'll find out about the precession of the equinoxes as well. But we never really paid that much attention to it until now. Until at least for me, because now we're at a point where because tropical astrology is not based on fixed stars, but on the position or the date of the equinox. So whenever the equinox is, right? And because that space, that place in space has changed, it is by nature not accurate. Whereas Vedic astrology is, because Vedic astrology is based on fixed stars and then the constellations afterwards that anchor it, the fixed stars that anchor the constellations. So that never changes. So for a while, a long time ago, well, not that long ago, really, but it didn't really make that much difference. Now it does, because now if you've been noticing lately, and maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but I certainly have because I look. If you've been noticing lately, this is really, I don't like this lighting on my face. Um, we have a situation now where in reality this new moon in Aries is happening while the sun is in Pisces. So the new moon in Aries, quote unquote, is happening while the sun itself is in, if you look it up astrologically, the sun itself, if I looked here, is in Pisces. So why is this not the new moon in Pisces? It's been like this for a hot second as I've been bringing these lunar cycles to you. And I'm not sure why I didn't it wasn't as prolifically important to me until this one. Because this one carries with it so much that we really have got to start. So don't be surprised if I begin to talk to y'all about from the Vedic and also from the tropical or Western astrological charts. Okay. So I'm going to do the moon calendar. I'm going to do the regular moon calendar, regular Western. And then I got to pull it up Vedically. So let me open this up. Sorry guys. You would think that I actually got up and did a whole bunch of stuff today, which I did not. I really have had a very lazy, laid back day. I didn't get up till late. I went to the movies. I went to go see Monkey Man. It was okay. I mean, it was okay. I wish I could say it was better. I enjoyed myself, but okay, here we go. Y'all ready? Christina, you said your entire house was shaking. Wow. Yep, a lot of people said that Ish just went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Wow. Okay, here we go. Let's start talking. Let me see if I can get a Vedic. I might have to pull it up different. Eighth, 2024. Sorry, you guys. I gotta find the Vedic chart. What? Why can't you just give me the freaking chart? Vedic astrology chart. Wow, that's so weird. Okay, I think I can pull it up from here. Hopefully. It's really hard to find a Vedic chart. This is insane. Let me see if I can do If I could do a moon calendar, I might have to make something up. Moon calendar. This is so weird that I can't do a Vedic chart. Shit. Okay, I'll figure this out, guys. I might have to create one. I might have to create a person. So I might have to make this new moon in Pisces, and we'll make her female. And we'll make her date of birth April 8th. This is insane that I have to make this up. That I have to make up the date of birth. And I'll make the time of birth like 2 p.m. and I'll let them be born here until I find a Vedic chart that can help me. That's so weird. I want it not traditional. Where's the sidereal? Here we go. Oh, I probably have to call it sidereal. Not go back. New moon. I literally had to create a fake person. I am so sorry for those of you that are just tuning in. You're like, this lady's not even talking. I'm so sorry. I will be talking in just a second. What I'm doing right now is creating a Vedic chart for the new moon in Vedic astrology, which would be in Pisces. So that's gonna look different. It in fact looks extremely different, and we're gonna talk about them both. All right. Welcome to everybody. Hello, Charlotte. How are you? Lovely. Yep, there was an earthquake all New York, New Jersey, New York City, New Jersey. Oh, you had no shaking. Well, thank goodness. Moment of totality is Ohio forest between 9 8. That early? It feels like that's a little early. It feels like it's a little early, darling. Hey, Kristen. Your birthday is the 9th, the day after the eclipse. Well, my daughter's birthday is tomorrow, day before the eclipse. The lady that does my nails, her birthday is the 8th. Okay, let's get this started. Okay, so as we know, the solar eclipse, super new moon, is occurring on April the 8th. Okay, if you are looking in tropical or Western astrology, it is happening in Aries. However, the sun itself is actually in the constellation of Pisces. So if we're looking at it from the Vedic standpoint, you are looking at a total solar eclipse in Pisces. Now, if you go on TikTok, there's a lot of stuff you're going to see, y'all. I'm going to be super honest with you. There's a lot of stuff that you're going to see. You're going to see, I feel like there was, with the last one we had, 20, what was it? It was April. It was a while ago, 7 years ago, 2017. That last one went this way across the United States. Its trajectory was downward. Oh, and I got to remember, what were the names? What are the common names of cities in the eclipse path of totality 2017? Then I'll do 2024 because it's very interesting. It was tracking across It came from Oregon and went down. Oh, somebody was, I don't know. It's on TikTok. I'll find it and then I'll post it. Um, but basically this one is going up and it's like rapture or something like that. It's crazy. I don't know. The first one was kind of like get ready or something. Anyway, it was really interesting. So, I've got a lot of very Christian people that are saying, oh my God, the rapture's coming. Okay, listen, guys. Um, I hate to tell you, but nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Uh, I studied the Bible and I used to believe very staunchly in the rapture. Left behind was a staple in my household. Okay. Yeah, it's not happening like that. Y'all don't just get the first exit out because you said a prayer. That's just not how it goes. I don't care how good you lived. That's not how it's fixing to happen. What I do believe is happening though is that we will see it's either a deeper bifurcation or dual split, or it's almost going to be a trifurcation or a three-way split. But either way, what you're going to see on the 8th is literally chaos and chaos magic at work. You're going to see where those people that have really, really tied themselves to shadow and lower vibrational frequency, or should I say, they are very attached to the earth realm, to like their whole world is fixated on wealth, power. They don't care how they get it. There's nothing wrong with having wealth and power. How you get it does make a difference. So they don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they step on. They don't care what nasty, horrific rituals they have to do. They don't care what the organization requires of them. They are willing to kind of sell their soul. Okay. And then there are some people that just want to just stay in that area of complete delusion. And okay, God bless you. Like, enjoy it. But a lot of these people are going to be like more tied into an unhealthy uh tie to wealth and power, political power, suffering, oppression, keeping people oppressed, keeping people suffering, that kind of thing. Those people, there's going to be more of a where your fate is kind of sealed. Okay? Also, a lot of people that perhaps haven't awakened or haven't learned how to truly create their own world. I, I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy afterwards, because this split makes this chasm even bigger. So, in other words, if you're continually a doom and gloom person, and if you're continually a person that just does not, has not, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, if you've not really begun to master this concept of creating your own world and not speaking death into it, the death that comes to your world or the destruction that comes to your world is going to get magnified, and it's going to be greater and greater and greater. And it's going to happen faster and faster and faster. I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I'm just saying that because this is what I'm hearing. Okay. This is what I'm sensing. I think I've been exhausted today, and this weekend, definitely. If you guys didn't get some rest, please get some rest tomorrow. Please, even though it's my daughter's birthday tomorrow, let me tell you something. I'm gonna get as much possible rest as I can. I just unearthed my rose petals and stuff. I'm gonna take me a nice hot bath. Put you some essential oils or even olive oil, or you got a bubble bath, whatever the case may be, child, put it in there. Soak, soak. Do you get you some rest and relaxation? Okay, take you a couple of good 2, 3, 4 naps. And even on the eclipse day, I want you to rest as much as possible. Like, I'm trying to figure out how I can like work less on that day. I don't, this is a lot of energy going on. So, anyway, so we're going to have this shift right here. Okay, we got these people over here. Then we got the middle ground, I think, that they're kind of like, oh, well, I kind of get it. I kind of don't. Some people like believe it, but they don't really like get it. Some people are still kind of half asleep, but they're kind of waking up to, oh wait, these people been lying to us for forever. Um, so that's gonna be a whole group in the middle that's after this, there's gonna like you're gonna have to start the choices are gonna be made. Lines are drawn. And then there's those of us that have, awakened and are, working, doing have done our shadow work or are doing our shadow work and moving in a different direction. We're really going to be catapulted this way. Like the amount of higher vibrational energy, the shift that this is doing, the shaking, the ripping of the veil that this is doing. Like, don't forget that on the day of, I believe, Jesus's crucifixion, the sun turned black, right? The sun turned black. If I remember correctly. So there was a solar eclipse on that day. And as I was reading through some of this stuff, and making notes and just reading through, one of these said that this new moon is like, they titled it the Christ consciousness. And they had a whole like Easter like Sunday picture on it, like with the cross and yada yada. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I did not feel like 2 weeks ago was Easter, or last week, whenever it was. I didn't feel like the 31st was Easter. I don't know about y'all, but did it not feel like it was Easter? The energy was not Easter energy. Like, I knew it was off. I knew it was wrong. I don't know who threw that day down, but that was the wrong day. This Sunday feels like Easter Sunday. And I said this for a minute. My point to the matter is, it was Weekster. I love it. Um, is that those of us that have already begun this, we're going to rise up. Now, where I think this whole rapture thing is really gonna happen is, I think that as we become more and more awakened, as we become more and more spirit led, as we become more and more higher beings of light, then we will. I don't know if you all have noticed this, but I've noticed my own physical body has changed. My physical body is changing. I feel like I'm aging backwards. I still do feel that way. Even though for some reason I've just gained like a crap ton of weight. And I'm like, where is this weight coming from? I don't even understand. Um, but I have no idea. It was really weird. Anyway, so I believe that we will, if there's a rapture, it's that we're going to be living, that we're basically living in a different, oh, excuse me, a different dimension. Because if you read the Bible, it ends up legitimately actually happening is there is this time period where there's this group that, now, of course, now let's just go with the fact that this is King James and this is very Eurocentric at this point. But that there's this group that's ruling with rod and iron, not grace and mercy, and that people are bringing tribute to that group of people, and they have translated bodies. Translated meaning no blood, right? Flesh and bone, but no blood. The blood ties you to the earth. We'll talk about the metaphysics of blood another day, but I've talked about this before. At any rate, I believe, I believe that those are going to be those of us as we continue on this path, because we are physically changing. You might think that that's crazy, but I can just tell you that the more and more you do spiritual practices, aka meditation, aka like your affirmations, and just growing and reading and just having the and practicing the hermetic principles, and practicing even the Neville Goddard spirit of allowance and all of these things, the more you do that, the calmer you become, your physical being changes, like everything changes. So that being said, okay, so now let's get more into this eclipse. So I saw somebody said that, I think it was Sebastian said that the college is closing. Like there's a lot of closures that are happening. Yeah, they're really hyping up this eclipse. Thank you. Um oh yeah. Oh, did it? Oh wow, that's crazy. You're raised Catholic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but I don't believe in I don't believe in physical rapture anymore. I used to believe in it, but I don't believe in it any longer. That's cool. Okay, yeah. So there's schools that are canceling because of the eclipse. There's other things that are like, everybody is like, it's kind of nuts to me that the schools are going to be closing. But these are the other things that are happening. Like, let me NASA shooting missiles at the sun. Why is NASA shooting missiles at the solar eclipse? The ionosphere is highly impacted by solar radiation and charged particles on the day side of the planet. On the night side, the charged particles can relax into the background. Now, interestingly, okay, let me just tell you the absolute. Can I cuss this late at night, y'all? It's late. Can I curse? Uh, I was going to say one word, but I'll say another one. The absolute bullshit of what our government is doing. So if you do not know what the ancient Kemetic belief systems surrounding eclipses were, the 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 sun god Ra, every night when the night set, the ancient Kemets believed that he was fighting in the underworld to come back up and start a new day again. He was battling the good fight down in the underworld. And on the day, and he would have to battle one of the serpent deities, which was known as Apep. On the days of the eclipse, Apep actually caught Ra and for a moment swallowed Ra up. And then the other gods would come and fight Apep and free Ra. Okay. Now that's the ancient Kemetic belief system. Let me show you what these assholes are doing. Show you. Okay, can you guys still hear me? Please give me a Give me some hearts if you can hear me in the chat, please. Give me some hearts in the chat if you can hear me. In the Oh, okay, good. All right. All right. Okay, in the 2006 disaster flick solar attack, a coronal mass ejection, solar flare, from the sun threatens to ignite the atmosphere and end all life on Earth. The solution involves shooting a nuclear missile at the North Pole to put out the planet spanning fire. Fortunately, solar activity doesn't really present that much of a threat to the planet. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. But that won't stop real world scientists from firing a trio of missiles at the upcoming solar eclipse on the 8th. Good evening, Mr. Crystal Tarot. It wasn't quite as wacky as it isn't quite as wacky as it might sound, and there's some interesting scientific reasons for shooting missiles at an eclipse. I can't wait to hear this. The missile known as APEP, remember I just told you the story, short for atmospheric perturbations around the eclipse path. Named for the Egyptian serpent deity and nemesis of the sun god Ra. Y'all are assholes. An alternative name for the same deity, Apophis, is given to a near Earth asteroid and the subject of NASA's ongoing OSIRIS Apex mission. I really need to study this a little bit more. I really need to study what the hell NASA is up to. What is y'all doing? And then this is okay. So I'm just gonna toot my own horn for a second. I'm gonna big up the chemists. How come this is how come y'all keep coming back and messing with our gods? Leave our gods out of this. This is the shit y'all doing. This ain't got this that Euro set. I don't mean no harm to my European brothers and sisters, but this is that European BS. Oh, let me just conquer all the universes. I'll just take everybody's ish and I'll make it my own. Leave our people, leave us out of it. So you know what you're doing here. You're invoking a frequency of an entity, of a deity, of a consciousness, of a belief system. Anyway, let me keep moving because I'm gonna get pissed off. The ionosphere. Why is NASA shooting missiles at the solar eclipse on April 8th? The ionosphere is highly impacted by solar radiation and charged particles on the day side of the planet. On the night side, the charged particles go back in the background before getting charged up again when the sun rises. This creates a sort of regular cycle in the ionosphere with normal ebb and flow. Scientists are hoping to learn what happens to that cycle when only a portion of the ionosphere experiences a rapid but temporary decrease in solar interaction. Interactions in the ionosphere are of interest because they impact communications technologies. It is an electrified region that reflects and refracts radio signals and also impacts satellite communications as the signals pass through. Understanding the ionosphere and developing models to help us predict disturbances is crucial to making our increasingly communication dependent world operate smoothly, said mission leader Aro Baryatia in a statement. Okay. So it's supposed to trigger large scale atmospheric waves and small scale disturbances. It wipes out clouds at the lower atmosphere, but what happens in the atmosphere? So basically, what they're doing is they send in 3 sounding rockets up to from Virginia 45 minutes before the peak of the eclipse. The second will follow at the peak and the last 45 minutes after. They want to see how the atmospheric changes evolve during the eclipse. Now, they did this for the October 2023 annular eclipse. Um, But I'm going to tell you what makes this, and we're not going to see another eclipse for over North America for 20 years. Now, the fact that these are happening 7 years apart has my good Christian friends like, you know, in a tizzy as it is, 7 years, yada, yada, skippy, skippy. Let me tell you something. They are not only doing this, they are, and you all are talking about it in the chat. And they are indeed starting up CERN in Switzerland, which means they've already started it up because it takes a little bit for everything to really get moving. Do you all remember that I said that it was, I believe, let's see, which uh, Hindu gods are statues in front of CERN? Yep, Shiva. So why does CERN have a statue of Shiva? The Shiva statue was a gift from India to celebrate its association with CERN, which started in the 1960s and remains strong today. In the Hindu religion, Lord Shiva practiced the Nataraj dance, which symbolizes Shakti or life force. So these fools, remember, we talked about CERN the last time these mother truckers did this mess. Okay? Now, one of the first times they discovered the what? The God particle. Remember? The last time they did it at a peak time in order to open up a portal. They have also stated that things have come out of that said portal. They did open up the motherfucking portal. It's late, y'all. I'm start cursing. They did open up that motherfucking portal. The portal was opened. The reason why you have Shiva there, Shiva's not just any old Hindu god. Shiva's not just any old god. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. We're gonna Wikipedia this. We're gonna Wikipedia this. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. Okay. There is also Shiva in Judaism. Okay. Here we go. Shiva, also known as Mahadeva, the great god, is one of the principal deities of Hinduism. He is the supreme being, right? And one of them in Shaivism, one of the major traditions. Shiva is known as the destroyer within the Trimurti, the Hindu trinity, which also includes Brahma and Vishnu. In the Shaivite tradition, Shiva is the supreme lord who creates, protects, and transforms the universe. In the goddess-oriented Shakta tradition, the supreme goddess Devi is regarded as the energy and creative power of or Shakti and the equal complementary power of Shiva. Shiva is one of the 5 equivalent deities, blah, 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 blah. Now, Shiva has many aspects, benevolent as well as fearsome. This is the thing that gets me. Whenever most people are utilizing Shiva that aren't practicing in a balanced way, it's the destructo, it's the chaos, it's the remaking of the universe, it's the remaking and rebuilding of everything. It is the being the ultimate power. That is what they usually seek to have at their disposal. So you mean to tell me that we're going to fire up CERN and at the same time we're going to shoot missiles at the sun that are called APEP? Nothing could go wrong. It is going to be a very, very important day for us who are light bearers and light workers to be very vigilant. We must be very, very vigilant. We must hold space. We must we must meditate. I think I'm probably going to have a meditation during the peak hours um, here where we're meditating together. Although I would like to go out and see it as well. But we've got to hold some space because this is a major shift in everything. This is not just your regular schmegular, right? Because we've got it kind of doing dual purposes. It's shifting things in Aries. So for self, there's a lot of shifting going on. And then it's shifting everything in Pisces. So basically, by the end of this, very, you should have a lot of clarity as far as what your next moves are. And you should have a lot of clarity on your healing. You should have a lot of clarity um every in how to get through and get past and integrate and empower any wounding. This should be a very deep space and time of spiritual awakening, which is in and of itself Christ consciousness. This is where this knowledge of self, and I'm going to get back to the Book of Thomas. In fact, I want to have a members only where I'm teaching it live again here another day or so. This gnosis of self as a divine being, fully human, fully God, because that's truly what you are. You are a divine being. You are fully human, yet you are still a divine being. Yes, I am mantras. Yes. Yes, Charlotte, I'm not against science either, but there's a lot of what they're doing now. They're doing it to try to replicate Supreme Creator. They're trying to basically shape this universe or this where we're at right now, this particular time timeline into what they want it to be. I don't trust them. They're doing tomfoolery. This is bullshit what they're doing. So we have to be very conscious because let me tell you something. They have opened up portals. Things have traveled out into that portal. And from my understanding, at least one or two entities have come back this way. Then they had to shut it down. So this new moon in Aries is a total solar eclipse. Let me bring up the chart, the Aries chart. So this is traditional. This is the traditional chart, okay, where we have the full moon, the new moon in Aries. The new moon in Aries is also if you see here, it is also completely conjunct with Chiron. I don't think I've ever seen this happen. I've never seen this happen. Chiron, as you know, um, is the wounded healer. So this new moon, from a tropical or Western astrological perspective, is very strong in wounding and healing. So chaos and creation, fear and love, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is a very if you thought that you've been dealing with wounds before, or if lately for the last 2 to 3 days, maybe I'll give you 5. But for sure, the last 2 to 3 days, it seems like old wounds seem to be opening up, or exes seem to be coming back around, or, just right. We're seeing that old wounds are coming to the surface, aka Diddy, aka Jay-Z, aka who else did I hear about? Somebody else that had been, we know about Ashton Kutcher. But anyway, I just, it's like, oh my God, not this one too. You know what I mean? Like all this old stuff coming up, because it's time to really look at the wounds so that we can get the healing. Okay. But for me, Chiron also represents a deep, deep, deep level of transformation in one's own being. I have Chiron in Aries. I also have my moon, and I also have Saturn in Aries. So it's a very interesting third house that I have. But because I have Chiron in my third house in Aries, I'm always looking introspectively for healing. So this is a normal process for me. But for some of y'all, this is like there's going to be such deep ish to come up. But if you don't let it come up and you don't make the determination you're going to deal with it, that doesn't mean you have to deal with it on that day. That just means, because this is going to last for at least 6 months. This lasts for at least 6 months. We are on an Aries Libra axis for quite some time. So all the eclipses, that's where they're going to be happening in Aries and Libra for at least the next year, I think. While the North and South nodes are in Aries and Libra. So at least 6 months, because 6 months from now it would be the full moon in Aries. So we'll be releasing a lot. And then really, to me, the whole cycle doesn't actually close out until the next new moon in Aries. It's a super moon. It is very close to the earth as far as like kind of the wobble, right? The oval. It is very close to the earth. So we're and it's pivotal. It's a pivotal time for the United States, because this is where it's primarily crossing. So it is a very, very pivotal time for the US as far as healing all those wounds as well. Kristen says they know we're waking up, no more believe, but no, exactly. Okay. Also of note, we do have Mercury in retrograde. It is kind of within orb here of all of this. I mean, it's 5 degrees, so it's applying. It's not super strong. But that also makes communication unstable. Please, if your cell phones go out for some reason, if the internet goes out for some reason, don't freak out and don't be surprised. Communications could potentially really get whacked out. All right. Don't freak out. Don't be surprised. Check in with everybody before it gets, and check in with everybody as soon as your phone comes back on if it goes out. I would pay very close attention. Listen, people are going to be out and about and they're going to be acting stupid. So stay in, either stay at home or stay in the build. Like don't be driving around a whole lot. Like just stay. That's all I mean, that I'm not trying to be a fear monger. I'm just saying people are dumb. We also have in Taurus. Also, by the way, this is in the 9th house. All of this is happening in the 9th house. That is the house number 9, 9th house, self-actualization, higher learning. 9 is the number of self-actualization, self-knowledge, self-loving. Let me see. I know I'm forgetting something. Um, thoughts, travel, higher level learning, philosophy. Okay. It also deals with the ninth house, also deals with belief systems, religions, morals, and ethics. This is really the time for you. This is signaling, honey, if it hasn't changed yet for you, whatever's going to be shooketh will. I would not be surprised. Like, I was sitting in the movie theater and I was watching the trailers, you know. So there was this one trailer that's coming for a movie that's coming out in June talking about like it's called Civil War. And I'm like, what? Basically Texas and California team up to like fight the rest of the United States. The likelihood that Texas and California would team up to do anything is so incredibly never. That's one thing, but it's very politically motivated, which I don't like. I don't like it on either side when it's very politically motivated and you're just basically trying to scare the shit out of other people. I don't like that. But then I'm like, why are you bringing this out now? And then right after that was um the the quiet a quiet place day one, where all the aliens like come and attack. Like there was probably about 3 alien movies. I was like, yo. So to me, this is just like, this is heralding, don't be shocked when crazy ass stuff happens for the next 6 to 8 to 12 months. Like, don't be shocked when it's for the next 6 to 12 months, right? Um how you communicate with higher, like with the ethers, with the cosmos, how much you are going to decide to be at one with the cosmos, how much are you really going to go all in on this spirituality stuff? Are you really going to go in all in on this, like, we're going to release like the dogmatic belief systems, like the structures that make everything so oppressive? We're going to release all that and we're going to move into this new era. Like, how much are you really willing to do that? You know? So that's what this is really like. How much are you really going to still sit here and believe the crap that they're like, that is being shown to you, like in the mainstream? And at what point do you finally decide that you're going to like question things and think about things in a different way? And, are you going to live by your own set of morals, which I would say is probably really, really on point? But this also means that there's going to be a lot of chaos. Chiron can bring chaos. This solar eclipse with Mercury in retrograde, with Saturn and Mars conjunct, and Jupiter and Uranus conjunct. This right here is like, hey, it's time to build. It's time, and that's happening in Pisces according to tropical. So it's time to build your dreams. Are you going to do it? Like, this is literally pushing you to build your dreams. This is you literally saying, stop playing around. We don't have time for this. Do what the hell you got to do and stop playing. You don't have any more excuses. There's just like, and I can't even I can't keep saying this enough. There literally is no more excuses. All of us literally have the capability to build our own world. It's been laid out. That's why I'm doing this 88 days. Guys, do you think that I like, not that I don't love to make videos, but can I tell you, 88 days of videos straight? And why am I doing it? People told me, like, they're like, girl, you need to sell this. Like, why are you not charging for this? Why is this at least not behind a paywall? And I'm like, because even though it's not getting a ton of views, maybe someday, some way, someone will happen upon it, and they'll be like, "Oh wait, I've been wanting like manifest. Like I'm thinking I'm going to change the name of it to like how to manifest your best life in 88 days. Maybe that's what I need to do, and then it'll probably start getting more views, right? But like honestly, that's a big thing for me to say. Like I'm gonna like literally create 88 10-minute videos on how to on manifestation and all the ins and outs and the metaphysics and but a lot of it's a summarization of stuff that I've been teaching for a long time, you know? So, and so we're going to take a break, right? Not a break, but you understand what I'm saying. So this is the thing, like, there's no more excuses. There's no more, well, this is happening in my life, so I can't do this. There's no more, well, this is happening or has happened, or these people are around and they don't, and I can't, and that's why I'm not doing what I'm meant to do. I get that not everybody is in the place that they need to be. I get that people are assholes. I get I get it. I get it. I get that you may be in a really toxic, fucked up situation. I get it. But if you're listening to my voice, I also know that somewhere deep down inside of you, you know that you're not meant to be in that position and you know you're meant for greater. So because you know that, then it's time for you to do whatever it fucking takes and take action and get out of that situation. Whatever it takes for you to finally go forward with your dream, whatever it takes for you to finally get that promotion, start that business, finish school, whatever it takes, short of hurting somebody. And for a lot of you, that's going to mean letting go of existing belief systems that have been like perpetuated onto you for so long. They've been just put upon you. And that's not going to be easy. But this is literally the shake up. This is the wake up call. This is the wake up call. Yes, especially with Mercury in retrograde. Um, yes, mental exploration. We're definitely exploring new thoughts, right? Charlotte says, "You're so generous to share it. You've been oh, good. I'm so glad. You've been watching something need to watch from the beginning." Yeah, I know. I listen. Part of that was my fault, honey. It wasn't getting up over here. Yeah, we can create the new world. Like this is crazy. Coming out of a huge metamorphosis of healing and grateful for my life and closeness with God, source, and finding my tribe. That's wonderful, Charlotte. We love you. And I don't want anybody to take any offense like when I say certain things about, religion or Christianity or whatever. I'm not downing Christianity as a religious practice, a spiritual practice. Let me put it that way. I don't like the religiosity. I don't like the religiousness of it. I don't like that it I don't like the oppression. I don't like some of the untruths that people will tell you or that are in the Bible or all this other stuff, right? I just don't. I don't like it. So I, as a person who needs to, or whose whose calling is to telling the truth and to helping set people free and to teaching people, then I've got to bring forward the truths that I know. Okay? The things that I know to be true. Speaking of which, I'm putting this here in the chat. Um, and if you, I'm having another um, soulful specialization. So if you've thought on this Thursday from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern, I've gotten it down from 3 hours to 2 hours. So if you have been looking to start your business, your spiritual or transformational business, that means like being a coach, a healer, a teacher, a mentor, something like that, or transforming people's lives in any way, shape, or form, then I want you, but you're not sure how you want to do that or who you're speaking to, then I want you to come to that. Okay, I want you to come to that. It's completely free. It's soulfulspecialization.com. The link is there, and the link is also in the description box. Okay. All right, here we go. You said it took you could hardly even say God for years. Wow. Ugh. Yeah, no oppression. We don't do oppression here. All right, here we go. Okay. Let's look at this here. We got Jupiter. Okay. So because we have such a strong Jupiter Uranus kind of energy influencing this, Chiron should be much more healing than wounding. Okay, so it should be very much more focused on healing and wounding. Expect to get some emotional balance out of this where you're finally just able to look at it like just for what it is, like in a very neutral way. And I think I've been talking about that actually in the manifestation videos, this need to look at things with a level of neutrality. I'm not saying that I don't have opinions or energies surrounding anything, but I have to look at things in a level of neutrality. So expect that you're gonna be able to look at things like this is that energy of just like, okay, wait, no, this is really what it is. That's actually gonna help you manifest either your way out of it or your way towards something else or whatever the case may be, because you're gonna be able to really legitimately look at things and set certain boundaries and say, we can't do this anymore. This just doesn't work for me. And that's okay. Now, you might not actually execute that until after Mercury retrograde is over, but let me tell you something, your assessment game is going to be on point. Okay? Let's see here. No other major fixed stars actually align with this new moon, so which is interesting because since basically this is like the rest of the universe is like moved out of the way, and we're just focused here, right, on us. Hey, Jace, how are you, honey? Good to see you. So there's no other fixed stars. There's no other things that are just interfering. This is really legitimately like what's going on in this planet, in this time, in this era, and how is the change? How is the metamorphosis? What's the growth? What's happening? This is what it's all about this, okay? So Jupiter being right here, guys. Let me see about clearing most of this out. Okay, let's go back here. This Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, this is all about growth, 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 growth. Over the next few weeks, definitely over the next 2 weeks, it's going to be an amazing time to do things that are going to grow yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. So I'm going to shamelessly plug coming to my soulful specialization. If one of those things that's on your bingo card for this year starting a business, come. I got it down to 2 hours, one night. We'll work on it. Okay. And then you'll have an opportunity to do some other new things. But this is all about expanding one's consciousness in a revolutionary way so that you can create revolutionary things, so that you can make this revolutionary impact in the world. And that you in Taurus here, 10th house. So this does not get any, I mean, I can't make this shit up. This doesn't get any better than this. Look at this. 10th house, Taurus is in the 10th house. Taurus energy, the I have. This is the time for you to possess all the expansion, all the growth, all the change, all the radical manifestation. This is your time to identify it clearly. And then we're going to begin to put this in motion. No, Jupiter and Uranus will not be conjunct for the next 6 months of the next year. But what is happening on this day, on April 8th, is setting the stage for the rest of it. So you need to take advantage of this. This is why resting is important. This is why being very clear. I'm going to give you guys some very simple rituals to do, very clear about what the hell it is you want and seal it in. Seal it in. You need to be open minded. You need to be flexible. You need to be willing to do things you never thought you would do before in ways you never thought you'd do it before. Honest to God. Like that's literally what you have to do. This again, right here, this Mars plus and Saturn in Pisces in the 8th house. This is all about leveraging other people's knowledge, leveraging other people's resources, entering into new contracts, um, building your new building and the building and the life of your dreams. Okay. Let's see. We talked about Chiron healing. The Chiron, remember that the Chiron wound is not self-inflicted, but it was dealt to you unfairly by fate. The Chiron wound is not a self-inflicted one, but dealt to you unfairly by fate. And in order for Chiron to be able to heal his wound or to get out of pain, he gave up his immortality. So he chose to not remain eternally in pain. This is the choice you're going to need to make. And then I also want to talk about Christ consciousness, because this is something most people don't know. That Chiron, I'm just going to read here. In Christian astrology, Chiron represents Christ. Let me say that again for the people in the back. In Christian astrology, Chiron represents Christ. The solar eclipse, precisely aligned with Chiron, could mean the return of Christ, or that we have an opportunity to achieve Christ consciousness. Edgar Cayce used this term to describe the awareness of the higher self as part of the universal system. Christ consciousness was named after the spiritual elevation Jesus achieved during his mortal life and is symbolic of the enlightenment attained by spiritual masters after a period of suffering. This is a common concept among many different religious traditions and is not unique to Christianity. As such, Christ consciousness is available to all those who seek awareness and spiritual awakening, regardless of their personal religious adherence. Christ consciousness means being kind, compassionate, and patient while freeing yourself of judgment, resentment, and fear. It makes it easy to follow the golden rule of treating others in the way you would like to be treated. All right. This pollen be pollinating. It be pollinating my allergies. All right, here we go. All right, that is the tropical. I mean, there's other stuff going on, but Pluto's really not playing a huge role in all of these shenanigans. Honestly, Pluto over here, she's over here chilling. Venus and Pisces, meh, these are the main players. All right, now I'm gonna remove this one. And let's do a new one, shall we? Let's do the other one. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about. We're gonna talk now. We're gonna look at the Vedic. We're gonna look at the Vedic chart or the sidereal chart because according to Vedic astrology, um, it all happening in Pisces. Copy image. It is all happening in Pisces. So here we go. So now remember everything I said for Aries. Now we're going to add on top of that the Vedic astrology, which I don't necessarily. No, that's not the right one. I don't necessarily know Vedic. Like there's as well. Okay. But I'm going to have to learn it now. Because Vedic is very much based on Rahu and this and that. So I got to learn it a little bit better. It's the same basic concepts. But now, okay. So this isn't right. Son of a biscuit. This is not right. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's because that's my birth chart. Y'all don't need to see my damn birth chart. I'm like, that's not right. Y'all do not need to see my Vedic birth chart. Let me put a new one up. Here we go. New. Don't save. Don't save, huh? What y'all think about that new Glorilla song? Did y'all hear that new Glorilla Megan Thee Stallion joint? Anyway, sorry. Here we go. All right, now we have it. Okay. So again, it's still happening in the ninth house. So that hasn't changed, which I find interesting. But it is all happening in Pisces, except for Mercury still in Aries. So we still have Chiron, the sun, and the moon conjunct in Pisces. Well, what is this meaning then? This eclipse brings out hidden possibilities. Okay. In this is very interesting. The first new moon in Pisces. So this new moon is celebrated as the beginning of the Vedic lunar new year. So according to Vedic astrology, remember we celebrated tropical astrology's new year energetically in March at the beginning of Aries season. I want to point out something as well. I find it interesting that that tropical astrology, Western astrology, the new year begins with what? With self. Aries is all about like self, right? When we think of Aries people, sometimes they're considered selfish. But Aries is about the self. It's about the id. It's about the who we are, like, just like at our core being. Piscean energy, two fishes, it's more so about higher self. It's more so about um, spiritual understanding, spiritual maturity. right? It's about the universe, the cosmos. So Vedic Vedic astrology says it's the new year whenever the first new moon in Pisces hits for the year. So whenever we've got a new fresh look at the cosmos. I just find that really interesting. Anyway, nobody else probably does. You guys don't forget to like, guys. Um, okay. So the astrological chart at this time sets the tone for the year. This year, the lunar years coincide. The new lunar year coincides with the solar eclipse. According to this chart, it's going to be. That means, for according to Vedic astrology, 2024 is going to be unstable. Okay. Um. Now, understand that this is kind of laid out, not this is side reel, so it's not Vedic completely. I'm gonna get a thing that generates Vedic charts. Do not do that, Gemini. Um, because according to the pure Vedic chart, April 8th, the solar eclipse occurs at 25 degrees Pisces in Revati Nak- Nakshatra. Nakshatra. As the last nakshatra, it is a nakshatra of endings. So that would be this ninth house. The nakshatra that follows, Ashwini, is the first nakshatra in Aries, representing new dawn. So they look at the new year starting when the cycle ends, not when the cycle begins. I find that very interesting, and I want stop. And I want y'all to really think about this. Um, so the fact that there's also a solar eclipse on this day, on in this moment, seems to signal further that really this is the change. We would like for it to be a nice and easy change, but the change is not going to be nice and easy. And and this split and this shakeup between everybody is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Um. What else? Now, interestingly enough, also in Vedic astrology, Mercury being in Gandhata from Pisces moved into Aries, but Mercury in Gandhata seems to, whatever that means, I got to figure this out, y'all. But Mercury being where he is seems to also affect things like earthquakes and other shakeups. So this basically what this is doing, it's like, understand this is also in the 10th house too. So this doesn't really change. That's still conjunct. This is still conjunct. The difference is that this is all about beginnings, endings, having compassion for oneself, having a deeper compassion for fellow man. To me, this says Christ consciousness, because Pisces is considered really like kind of the salvation sign. So to me, this says more about Christ consciousness, and that's what this new moon is all about. This awakening, this death of the shadow and rebirth of the light in Christ consciousness, in love, not in fear, right? In light, not in dark. And those who are choosing to remain in the dark, they are just choosing to remain there. Okay? They're choosing to remain there. Hey, how are you, sweetheart? Hey, yes, actual happy endings. Okay, we are almost done, guys. Can we talk a little bit about some rituals, and then I can let y'all come up if y'all want to. We can have some more conversation before I decide to turn it in. Um, let's talk about some rituals. A real simple ritual that you all can do is tomorrow. I want you to take a piece of paper and I was looking for some paper, but I don't have any. I want you to write literally everything that you wish to manifest. Maybe this year, maybe it's whenever, but I want you to literally write everything that you want. Literally everything. And I want you to write it on a piece of paper. And then, I know this is going to sound weird. I want you to either sprinkle some blessed water so you can bless your own water, um, or some rum. Okay. Um, onto the paper. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. And but you need to let it dry. Okay. So if you got like some Florida water, you can spray some Florida water on there. Um, if you bless that water, you could bless the water. You could, sage the water first, Palo Santo, whatever. Speak a blessing over the water. But anyway, I want you to sprinkle, sprinkle, spray this onto here. And not so much as much as everything, but write it out. Be sure you know what you've written down. And so but you gotta let it dry. And then tomorrow, either in the morning, um, preferably in the morning, or if you have the opportunity to do this at the eclipse, I want you to take it outside, put it in something that you can easily burn this piece of paper with or in. Okay. So it could be a big piece of paper. I want you to burn it, and I want you to then take the ashes, blow the ashes to the north, blow the ashes to the south, blow the ashes to the west, and blow the ashes to the east. And let the energy of the eclipse carry your desires on the wave. Okay. Please do smudge your whole house, purify your whole house. If you have frankincense, you know, get frankincense all around the house. Clear the negative energy out. Okay. Like I'm gonna do my laundry tomorrow. That kind of stuff. Um, the crystals and gemstones that you can put out during the solar eclipse are clear quartz, amethyst, and moonstones. Okay. They can be cleansed and charged with new intentions. So those are the ones you put outside. Candles, if you want to do candle magic, right? So if you want to do your own like little eclipse rituals where you're, venerating your ancestors for these new beginnings and this new healings and things like that. Um, remember that black is for protection, green is for luck, fertility, and vitality. White is for purity. Red is usually for love. Um, Gold also is definitely for abundance. Yeah, so I'm just trying to think of some of the latest ones. Purple is for higher consciousness, or intuition, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Anything spiritual. This is definitely a great time for meditation and self-reflection. Definitely a great time for prayers, to asking your guides, your angels, your ancestors for clarity and on life issues. Journaling, yoga, ritual baths. Okay, definitely like this is the time for getting like your herbs, salts, and essential oils into those baths. And let me tell you, you go down with the old and out and come up out with the new. The rose petals, oh my gosh. Oh, don't forget bay leaves also. So if you want to write things down on bay leaves and then burn them and blow those ashes, that's really great as well. Or you don't even have to blow those ashes, but you get yourself something and burn those up. Um Yeah, those are some very short ones, but I really want you all stop. I really want you all to definitely do the writing down, right? I've seen some that are like, oh, write the top 10 things. If that's what you want to do, great, on strips of paper. And then under the outside, underneath the eclipse energy, I want you to burn him. Okay. And if you're so inclined, put a compass app on your phone. Hopefully it's working at during this time period. And make sure you know what direction north is, so you go north, south, west, east. Actually, to be honest with you, the shamans would go south, west, east, north. But either way is fine. Okay. Y'all want to talk? Do y'all have anything y'all want to talk about tonight? I'm gonna drop it in here. Um, Let me paste this in here. That's the link if y'all want to come up for a little bit. I'll stay up for a little bit longer. The other thing I do want to talk about is the fact that there are reports that there will be a major solar flare that's going to be hitting, or plasma like a plasma wave, an energy wave that's going to hit the earth. That's what they're saying. That's the real reason, I think, for all of these like closings and stuff. And that would be a major electrical like hit. So just be aware. But also, we are going to experience, if should that happen, then we will experience a very huge magnetic shift in the earth herself. Like, we've already been experiencing these magnetic and energetic shifts. Like, you'll literally feel that bad boy. It's no joke. So I believe that that's also got a lot to do with us and how we are going to that elevation, that stepping up into this like higher dimensional consciousness. That's got a huge part to that as well. Okay. All right, guys. Whew. Yay, rituals. Yay. I keep thinking about the eclipse happening the day of the crucifixion. Yes. Like, okay, I understand. Yes. So this is why I'm saying, like, I don't feel like March 31st was really Easter. I think this April 8th is really the real energetic Easter, if you will. I think so. Okay, guys. Um, I'll be live tomorrow. I'll do readings tomorrow, maybe. Before I gotta find out what my daughter wants to do for her birthday. Um, I'll most likely do some readings though tomorrow. Um, and then we'll be doing messy Mondays. So Monday we'll be doing messy Mondays again. So start telling me who you want me to do readings for. I didn't get to Beyonce and things. I literally found out, girl, I was fixing to go. Um,
I know. I know. I was like, let me draw my hands. Let me draw my hands. How are you, beautiful?
I'm
Wonderful.
wonderful. How are you, sweetheart?
I am so good today. We had an excellent day at the Bounce House USA thing, that traveling acres of bounce housing.
Oh my gosh, how
So much joy. It
fun.
was so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Mm,
It was incredible. It was incredible. I
that
was so
sounds like
glad to
so much
catch your
fun.
live. And I hope that you've been doing excellent. You're looking gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. I love North Carolina. Absolutely. Do not move my camera. Whatever. I absolutely Love North Carolina. I'm so glad I moved here.
Oh, it looks like it. It looks like it totally.
Hmm.
Wow. So what you were saying about write it down and bless bless the paper and girl, oh my gosh. I'm just all about the synchronicity and the timing of everything right now because Thursday before last, I happened to my local candle shop and blessed it before I bought it, my Papyrus and my Florida water. When I came home and mixed it with my homemade moon water that I have written my affirmations and put it under the last eclipse there was, and had
Oh,
fused the two of them
wow.
together and sprayed the paper and have been writing upon it everything I desire for me and for the world for the last week. And I'm not done yet. And then I'm going to spray it again now that you mentioned that. I sprayed it before. Now I'm going to spray it after too.
Well, you should probably be able to use it. You should probably be able to, since you sprayed it before and let it dry. That's the
Mhm.
whole purpose is just to get it in there. So,
Yeah.
no, you don't need to spray it again. You should be good.
Okay. Right on. Right on. So I'm glad that I'm on the right accord as far as that
I love that.
ritual I was going to undertake. And but I do have a lot of my crystals on the windowsill right now. So what you were saying is I should remove some, or I should only put others directly where my altar is going to be outside, or
I'm not putting a lot of my crystals in the windowsill.
okay.
Um, because Gemini and Virgo think that they're personal toys, so they're not going to stay there anyway. B, um, I don't know. I keep hearing no, 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 no. So I don't think that I would. Let me look up something else. Let me look up the other Chris some more.
You rock.
Hello, Charlotte. How are you? Hit it with the solar eclipse. Okay. All right, here we go. Let me share this. It's actually a good question to ask. Okay, Charlotte, one of you is going to need to drop down. Otherwise, it's not going to, this won't end well. It'll go crazy for you. Okay, moons. So here's the ones we've got here: moonstones, rose quartz, agate. I've never seen this moon intention candle. Okay, citrine, clear quartz, jasper, selenite, and serpentine and aventurine. I don't know why this Taurus signet ring is here. So, but they don't even have the mm, 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 mm. I guess you could put different ones out here. I definitely would put the amethyst out though, for sure. Definitely the moonstone for sure. Um and I feel like the empowerment stone, so red jasper is going to be a good empowerment stone, right? So that's going to be a good stone. I don't mind that one. Um and then we did have clear quartz. We talked about quartzes, definitely. So I don't know what do you have in your, what is it that you already have in your windowsill, my dear?
Um, I have some obsidian, some fluorite, some pyrite, some citrine, lapis, all the quartzes, serpentine, amethyst. Um, red coral, adventuring, um,
I'd probably watch
black
the
tourmaline.
the black tourmaline. This might be too much energy for it.
What about that white one that's not the black one that's like tourmaline, but it's that Soleil?
Celestite, you mean?
Yes.
Celestite would be strong enough,
Okay.
but tourmaline may not do well because
Okay.
this is a heavy cleanse. This is a heavy cleansing energy,
What
and
about my Moldavite?
mm, mm, let me see here. I don't.
It's hard to find stuff on that.
Well, that's created by a meteorite when it impacts the Earth. So the Moldavite should be good.
Okay. Well, you rock. Oh,
Moldavite
thank
should
you
be
so
good.
much.
Yeah, and you're welcome. And that's good for the latent memories.
Hmm.
So that might actually be good for kind of like bringing things to the surface to heal.
Mm. Lots of that. Lots of
Yeah.
that lately.
Yeah. But I would
I,
really watch the tourmaline. I'd watch the obsidian too, because I just have this weird feeling that the obsidian is not gonna like that energy of of the solar eclipse.
okay.
Just my
Okay.
feeling on it. So yeah,
Thank you.
you're very welcome.
I'll see you
You're very-
tomorrow.
Okay, sweetheart. Sounds like a
Okay.
plan.
Peace.
Peace. Hey, Miss Charlotte, how are you? Can you unmute? Let me see if she's saying something to me in the private chat. Any recommendations to wear? Wow. Okay, you can't unmute. Okay. So Charlotte wants to know any recommendations on what to wear. I would wear clothing and colors that are representative to you of the great transitions that you've made, the areas of healing that you've already achieved, um, or that kind of represent something like transitory. So I'm probably, who knows, I might, it'll probably be blues or purples for me. It might even be greens. I've had this really deep affinity to greens lately. As you could tell from the nails. I've bought a lot of green clothing, which I find very interesting because I that's not typically just been a go-to color for me. Um, but I feel like gone through a lot of heart healing, financial healing, and other things. And for me, this just represents growth. So, I hadn't really thought about it, my dear, but I would wear clothing that represents growth and abundance to you and your own personal journey. That's what I would do if I was going to wear anything in particular. That's what I would do. Does that help? Maybe gold, yes. Yes, gold would be fabulous. I've been doing much more gold jewelry, gold and brass. Awesome. Awesome. All right, my dear. Well, do you have any other questions? Because otherwise, I'm probably gonna call it a night around these here parts. Not tonight. Okay, wonderful. I should see what time. Thank you so much for popping up. I appreciate you. Um, let's see. What time will I probably be on tomorrow, guys? Depends on if my daughter wants to go to a late brunch, but it'll probably be in the afternoon. It'll probably be afternoonish. Might be evening, but most likely afternoon, or I might go live twice. Depends on how much she wants me. Thank you, Charlotte. You rest well. You rest well. Um, but I'll give you guys a full heads up. I have a feeling she's not gonna want to get up too early. She hasn't been feeling well either. Her her allergies been acting up pretty bad. Okay, guys. Well, this was fun tonight. I was glad I was able to come on. I am literally going to get ready for bed, child. And we will see you all tomorrow. Okay. Now don't forget, get your stuff and start writing things down, and then you can spray it down so that it's dried up on for you by Monday morning. Okay. All right, gang. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys. I love you guys so very much. Have a great night. Rest well. And namaste. Bye, gang.